In the heart of Africa, there was once a man who ruled not as a president, not as a king, but as an emperor. A man who crowned himself in a lavish, gold-plated ceremony modeled after Napoleon Bonaparte. A man who was once hailed as a liberator but became one of history's most feared dictators. This is the unbelievable story of Jean-Bédel Bokassa, the soldier who seized power, declared himself emperor, and fell from grace in a spectacular fashion. Jean-Bédel Bokassa was born in 1921 in what was then French Equatorial Africa, a colony ruled by France. Orphaned at an early age, he was raised by Christian missionaries before joining the French army in 1939. A talented and disciplined soldier, Bokassa fought in World War II and later in France's Indochina War, earning medals and honors. By the 1960s, he had risen to the rank of captain. Then, in 1960, his home country gained independence, and his distant cousin, David Dacko, became the first president of the newly formed Central African Republic, CAR. Dacko invited Bokassa to return and made him chief of staff of the army. But power is a dangerous thing. And for Bokassa, loyalty was never his strongest trait. By 1965, the Central African Republic was struggling. Poverty, corruption, and instability plagued the nation. Sensing weakness, Bokassa launched a military coup on New Year's Eve, December 31, 1965. President Dacko was overthrown without bloodshed, and Bokassa took control. He suspended the constitution, dissolved the National Assembly, and ruled with an iron fist. At first, he claimed to be a man of the people, a strong leader who would bring order. But power does strange things to people. And for Bokassa, it turned him into something much darker. By the 1970s, Bokassa's rule became more erratic and brutal. He eliminated political rivals, silenced opposition, and built a personality cult around himself. But in 1976, he took his insanity to another level. Inspired by Napoleon Bonaparte, Bokassa declared himself Emperor Bokassa I and transformed the Central African Republic into the Central African Empire. And then, in December 1977, he staged a coronation ceremony that shocked the world. Dressed in a golden robe, seated on a massive throne shaped like an eagle, and wearing a $5 million diamond-encrusted crown, Bokassa crowned himself emperor in a spectacle that cost over $20 million, more than the entire country's budget. Meanwhile, his people were starving. As emperor, Bokassa became even more violent. He ruled through fear and terror. He personally beat prisoners, ordered mass executions, and even declared that schoolchildren must wear expensive uniforms. When parents couldn't afford them, protests erupted. Bokassa's response? He ordered soldiers to arrest and kill hundreds of children. But the most horrifying rumors were yet to come. Some reports claimed that Bokassa practiced cannibalism, eating the flesh of his enemies. Though never fully proven, these accusations added to his monstrous reputation. By 1979, his madness had gone too far. The world took notice, and even France, his former ally, had enough. On September 20, 1979, while Bokassa was away in Libya, French paratroopers launched Operation Barracuda, a military coup that removed him from power. He fled into exile, first to the Ivory Coast, then to France, where he lived in a luxurious mansion, ironically bought with the money he stole from his own people. But in 1986, in a move no one expected, Bokassa returned to the Central African Republic, believing that his people still loved him. Instead, he was arrested immediately and put on trial for treason, murder, and cannibalism. While the cannibalism charges were dropped due to lack of evidence, he was sentenced to death, later reduced to life imprisonment, and then released in 1993. In his final years, Bokassa bizarrely claimed to be the 13th apostle of Jesus Christ before dying in 1996. Jean-Bédel Bokassa remains one of history's most infamous dictators, a man who went from soldier to ruler, from liberator to oppressor, from president to emperor, and finally, to a fallen tyrant. A man whose thirst for power led to one of the most bizarre and terrifying regimes in African history. Thanks for watching Backpage. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into history's most fascinating figures.